Hey, Mike Pedersen here with PerformBetterGolf.com. Today I want to talk about a very common swing fault that's called flipping through impact, and it looks like this. And this is a killer for distance and accuracy in your golf swing. I want to show you a simple fix, but before I do, I want to make a disclaimer. All the videos that I shoot are based on my own personal experience. I've viewed over 1,000 golf swing videos of PGA players, senior PGA players, and all levels of handicap players, and I've studied the golf swing inside and out, so I know the biomechanics. But when I shoot a video like this, I'm coming from my own personal experience and opinion, and so my videos are based on feel, what something should feel like. And I know throughout all the years that I took lessons from some of the best instructors in the world, some of them were underground, I used to beg to say, how should it feel? And they couldn't tell me, so I just, through trial and error, got this on my own. So I want to show you a really simple feel that's going to correct your flip through impact. So here it is. When you're flipping at impact, there's many causes, and we're not going to get into these, that could cause the flip from way at the top of the backswing coming down, but we're going to talk about when it happens through impact here. So again, I showed you before, here's the ball down here. So innately, especially the higher handicap golfer, is going to feel like they want to hit the ball, and that's called an early release. And you can see that with my hands right there. I'm releasing the club way too early. There's no lag going through impact, and actually when you release it early and flip it, you know what you actually do? You're adding loft to your irons. And if you ever wonder why your ball flight is real high and it's short, maybe even 10 or 20 yards, just imagine this is a 7-iron. So if I came through impact and flipped it, I've just turned this 7-iron into like an 8 or a 9-iron. So remember, each iron is roughly 10 yards approximately. So if we've taken this 7-iron and turned it into an 8-iron, now we've lost 10 yards. Some of the golfers flip it so bad they turn it into a 9-iron. That's 20 yards with your irons. So when I show you this fix, you're going to get excited because it's going to give you 10 to 20 yards on your irons immediately. Okay, so here's the feel that I want. Here's the simple little tip. So when you come into impact, you've got to have a cock in your right wrist here. So instead of flipping like this, you need to feel like you're coming down like this. And the feel for you and the feel for me when I do this is that my handle is way ahead of my hands and way ahead of my club head when I come through impact. Something like this. Now I know this looks dramatic to you, but it won't be once you do your actual swing. But remember, when you're doing drills, especially on the range, you need to go to the other extreme, because what's going to happen is what you think you're doing is what you're not doing in real person, live. So I want you to feel like your hands are way ahead. Well, watch this. The feeling I got one time on the range was that I was going to take the palm of my hand right here, and I was going to drive it through the ground past impact. The palm of my hand. So I wasn't even thinking about my wrist at all at this point. I was thinking, even though the club was in my hand, I wanted to think about the palm driving down and through the ground like that. And watch what happens when you do that. Look at the lag. So I'm driving my palm down. Look at that lag in the club. And when you hit a ball like this, you're going to compress that ball like you've never done before. It's going to make a sound that's different than you ever heard before. And it's going to take off at a low trajectory with lots of spin, but you're going to get maximum distance because of that compression on the ball from the club face. So again, the tip is drive your palm of your right hand, if you're a right-handed golfer, drive it almost right into the ground. And like I said, when you're on the range, overcook it. Really try to get it out like this when you do it. And when you do that, look at the difference of doing that as opposed to doing this. That's dramatic. That's like comparing apples and oranges. So that's the tip today, is drive your palm through the golf ball into the ground. And then of course, after you've hit the ball, the rotation of your body is going to continue through, and that's what swings the club through to the post-impact position. It's not your arms, it's the rotation of your body that gets you post-impact. Give that a try, and I know that's going to help you. But in the meantime, I want to show you a really neat training aid that will correct this problem very quickly. It's called the Golf Wrist Lag Aid. I have it on my hand now, and you can see what it does. It automatically puts a bend in my right wrist, which is the perfect bend to have wrist cock coming through impact. This is a hard piece of plastic tightly wrapped around my forearm, so there's no give in that. I mean, for me to hit a golf ball, I'm forced to have to rotate through with my body to hit the ball. Because remember, with this aid on, it's forcing my wrist to stay back because, again, we want to fix the flip. So the only way to hit this golf ball now is to rotate through with my upper body. And obviously my lower body is going to get out of the way. But the neat thing about this training aid is that it's going to teach me that forward-leaning shaft, that compression on the golf ball, and it's also going to force me to rotate my body through. Now, being a mid to high handicap golfer, you might not even know that feeling. You might only know the feeling of the arms throwing out at the ball. So when you do this and you're forced, when you wear the aid, you're forced to rotate through, the sound that you're going to get when you hit that ball is going to be like none you've ever heard before. It's going to be like the pros, like truly. It's going to be crisp and compressed, and that ball is going to shoot off low and then gather height as it goes up in the air a little bit, but you're going to see a lower trajectory through the takeoff area the first 5 or 10 feet. This is a phenomenal training. It's so good and effective that I now sell it on my website. It's like $40. I mean, $40 is a pizza and a couple of beers with your buddy. I mean, what's that worth to you to fix this really painful swing fault? I hope you get it. I hope it helps you, and I want to hear your success stories via email. So hit the button below and get it today.